Welcome back. Time now for Media Watch. James Creedon is here and installed and ready. I'm sorry, we're going to be with the... I called you George now. It's George Entwistle, who's the former head of the BBC, former Director General, of course, who's resigned. On top of that, there have been more resignations as well in the wake of what's been an editorial shipwreck for what is one of the most esteemed broadcasters and journalism sources in the world.
It's a huge story and it keeps growing, Mark. To give some background to our viewers, basically George Entwistle, the head of the BBC, quit on Saturday. He was criticised after, in the wake of a Newsnight show, that's an investigative journalism show from the 2nd of November, in which a victim of alleged child abuse in a children's home in Wales accused an unnamed senior Conservative politician of involvement, a former Conservative politician. He wasn't named in the show. Later, though, on Twitter, Lord McAlpin was named. He's now 70, living in Italy. And he is now, if we take a look online, he's obviously very annoyed about this because it's since the guy who appeared on the Newsnight show who was abused by various unnamed people had said it wasn't Lord McAlpin, right? So let's take a look at some of the coverage online. Mr. McAlpin, if we can get this page up and running, it seems to be.
The BBC also in this Newsnight programme apologised and admitted they got it wrong, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah. And so he is now saying that he could send Twitter users a message to think before they tweet. One such Twitter user who linked him to this show, Sally Bercow, wife of the Commons Speaker. Mm-hmm. So prominent people linking him to this show. It was what we then saw was the resignation on Saturday of the head of the BBC, who is now being grilled over the amount of money he may accept in his severance package. I thought one angle in this story that was interesting, Mark, was on Slate.fr. The BBC in full crisis mode is still doing good journalism. So again, what we saw, which is what we also saw last month in a similar scandal linked to Newsnight over Jimmy Savile, who was a children's TV presenter at the channel, linked to child abuse as well, was Newsnight, this investigative show, being at the centre of a scandal, but actually other BBC outfits, such as BBC Radio 4 on Saturday, grilling Entwistle over the story, and the Panorama show grilling the network as well over Newsnight being, I suppose, buried in its investigation of Jimmy Savile, a children's presenter for the channel.
So the BBC doing a good job
at investigating themselves.
And investigating itself, but
right.
Clearly there have been failings in how these things have been handled throughout the editorial department in the BBC, which raise massive questions about how it does its job.
Right, and Newsnight could actually now be axed as a means of trying to kind of, I suppose, manage this crisis.
Okay. We will move on. That story, of course, will continue. There's lots more to go on that one. Next, we're turning to Nicolas Sarkozy and one enthusiastic supporter who wants him to come back.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at this online first, Mark. 64% of UMP party members would like to see him be the next candidate in 5 years' time. We're also seeing songs like this one, right? Let's take a listen. Let's put the music up. So what we're hearing here, right, is a song saying, Nicolas Sarkozy, please come back. We're sinking under taxes. Our knees are breaking. Top CEOs are fleeing the country. Please come back. That's had 1 million hits on YouTube in about a month. So that's maybe because people find it amusing, I don't know. Now, there was another...
Maybe because people can't afford to go out anymore and all they're doing is surfing the internet.
Right, and looking at slightly badly produced songs asking for Sarkozy to come back. There was another one on the satirical show Les Guignols. Let's roll some of these pictures. This was for journalists. That's meant to be Claire Chazal. That's another TV journalist there. And they're saying, call up Sarkozy, bring him back. We're so bored with this Hollande guy. Get him out of his jacuzzi and bring him back. So there's this series of videos hitting the web at the moment asking for Nicola to take out the cigar, get out of the jacuzzi and put on his suit and come back into politics.
Lovely cameo of his wife playing the guitar as he's in his jacuzzi there. You know?
It's a nice little detail, isn't it? So there you go. Sarkozy come back. Or not, as some people would also say.
Indeed. I think he said he was going to retreat from politics. I said, for how long?
For how long,
So there you go. I may be right. Shame I didn't bet on it. Yeah. Okay, if some people want Sarkozy back, it's not so much the case for a certain Mitt Romney losing friends on Facebook at a... rapid rate?
Phenomenal rate. Let's take a look at this headline, if I can find it. Mitt Romney loses 50,000 Facebook fans. Now, they're not very loyal friends, as this particular blog, Democratic Underground, pointed out. A real friend is there through thick and thin, say these rather smug Democrats on that blog. And here what you have is this website called Disappearing Romney, which charts the number of friends who are falling off his Facebook page. And you can look at it in real time. That's 74 friends he's lost, 75. And it keeps on going up So there you go. You
So
can
this
watch
is
his
this is
demise
as we are talking.
as
This
we're
is
talking.
happening.
People unfriending.
That is spooky.
They're very, very flaky, Facebook friends.
Fickle friends indeed. Fickle friends on Facebook.
Fickle friends on Facebook. It could be the
Click
headline
like.
of a book.
Facebook.
Facebook, God.
James, thank
Where
you
will
very
it
much
stop?
indeed. Probably now because we're out of time. James Creedon with Media Watch. Thank
Thanks,
you, sir.
Mark.